This was supposed to be a video about the importance of speed in Fire Emblem Heroes, but instead I somehow ended up thinking about Brash Assault. Mainly wondering, will Brash Assault ever be useful? Now for those of you who may not even know this B skill exists, I don't blame you. Its effect at tier 3 is that your unit will automatically make a follow-up attack when at HP less than or equal to 50% and attacking a foe that can counter. If it makes it easier, think of it like a reverse quick riposte. There are 3 main conditions you need to meet. First, you must be below 50% health. Second, you must be the one attacking or initiating combat. And third, the enemy you attack must be able to counterattack. Now honestly, if not for that last condition, I think this skill could see more use. However, to meet all 3 of these conditions is extremely difficult, it's unreliable, risky, and there's just better B skills to use. Ideally, this skill would be good for slow but tanky units who can take a hit. Hector is not a bad choice since once you get knocked out of Armad's quick riposte range, you may land within Brash Assault's activation. You will need to survive a hit, so units with really high defense or res can use this skill. You can also use damage reducing specials such as Pavis, Aegis, or even Miracle that stay alive when the enemy gets their turn. Although this assumes that they already have some charges on them, and will proc when needed. The main issue here is survivability. You have to be on low health to get the guaranteed follow-up, but you also must take a hit from the enemy before you get to use it. This is a dilemma that has left this skill to sit with Bartray, while other skills are much sought after. If there only was a way to ignore the enemy's counterattack. If you haven't heard of the Brash Assault Lyn build, then I think you'll enjoy what surprises it has to offer. So Lyn's legendary weapon, the Soul Kadi, has a built-in Desperation 2 effect. This means it activates at the same HP threshold as Brash Assault, and due to its effect, allows Lyn to use both the regular hit and the guaranteed follow-up in a row before the enemy gets their turn to attack back. This is exactly what Brash Assault wants, since it guarantees a follow-up as long as the 3 conditions are met, and Desperation takes into account any sort of follow-up attack. Lyn does not have to outspeed her opponent. She also by default comes with Defiant Attack 3, which also activates at less than or equal to 50% HP, ensuring her attack gets a huge +7 boost. It's almost like Lyn's base kit was made to run Brash Assault. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest interactions of skills in the game, despite its rather difficult conditions to activate. It's an interesting revenge killer build where Lyn suddenly gets a lot scarier if she gets below 50% HP. This build also is probably the most optimal use of Brash Assault. However, if you guys know of any other combinations, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. So besides Soul Kadi, the only way we're going to see this interaction on other units is if we get a Brash Assault Sacred Seal. Obviously, everything I'm speculating is just for fun, but it may be worth asking what other skills could we see get turned into Sacred Seals. My first point of contention is that the Distant Defense A skill got turned into a Sacred Seal. While I know mainly that stat changing skills are Sacred Seals, it's interesting to see that one of the best A skills in the game was turned into a Sacred Seal. So who knows what other powerful skills they're willing to create. Second, Hardy Bearing affects Vantage and Desperation mainly, 2 pretty popular B skills. If Hardy Bearing was a regular skill, I think it would have been a B skill. Third, Crusader's Ward is a B skill and essentially combines Deflect Missile and Magic, which are both Sacred Seals. I would argue a skill like Brash Assault could become a Sacred Seal since it's just so unpopular. It's absolutely horrible in the one-shot meta at the moment, and making it a Sacred Seal wouldn't break the game. Or would it? So again, this is all just fun theory crafting, but let's give Alphonse Desperation and Brash Assault. His default kit already tries to make use of being on low health since his sword Folkvangir, no idea how to pronounce that, grants him a +5 attack buff when below 50% HP. This combined with Death Blow sets Alphonse up to be a scary guy to tank. He could normally try to run Brash Assault, but then he still has to survive the enemy counterattack if he can't one-shot them, and in that case Brash Assault is already useless. So, with the same combo as Lyn, Alphonse could use both of his attacks first. Combine this already high damage with a special like Draconic Aura, and I assure you only the tankiest of blue units will be able to survive this encounter. As fun as this could be, I already can think of a few reasons why this would never happen. Now take what we applied to Lyn and Alphonse, and now give them a Brave weapon. Basically, in the same scenario, since Brave weapons already attack twice, this means all Brave weapons could potentially pull off the quad attack scenario. Imagine Reinhardt hitting some poor mage 4 times in a row, and putting someone into that range basically means it's game over. If you haven't experienced watching Brave Lyn with a Brave bow hit your tank 4 times while proccing Draconic Aura and killing them, then I can assure you it's quite depressing. Despite my earlier reasoning, just because other skills have been turned into sacred seals, does not mean we can just assume that this will happen for all of them. No B skill is currently also a sacred seal, and it would be really random to just see them give Brash Assault that honor. Then, there's the question of whether anyone would even upgrade it before any of the other amazing sacred seals. Even if this somehow happened, Brash Assault is still really unreliable to me. Compared to other skills that are easier to use and more effective, it's just tough to see how it could become more useful. At the moment, unless some new sacred seal or new weapon with a new effect is introduced, then I don't think Brash Assault is going to gain any more usability. For sure, it's an interesting skill, but it's just way too hard to use. It also has the unlucky position of having to beat out other really strong skills in the B slot, such as Vantage, Desperation, and Quick Riposte. I know this video got a little sidetracked, but I really don't know what you could do to make Brash Assault viable at this current point. Tell me your thoughts on Brash Assault in the comments, and please let me know if there is some new amazing way to make it actually good. I'll see you guys in the next video.
As you will.